on him. And then all of a sudden he's a different. And I don't think it's going to take much for him to mentally kind of lose it if he gets buzzed. Because he's shown that he's just not. He's all of a sudden not that gifted defensively because he can't move and he sits on the ropes. CT, man, coming into this fight, a lot of people are picking Pascal because of what Bute was able to do, or I'm sorry, what Frost was able to do to Bute and make such short work of it. There's also an argument to be made that Bute just doesn't even have a signature win per se against a prime guy. What are your thoughts on this fight, man? Obviously, the light heavyweight, you know, he's kind of new to light heavyweight as well, Bute.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things to look for in this fight right here. I want to see how Bute takes a light heavyweight shot. It could be one of those fights where you're going to have to play the waiting game because both sides are very ring rust. You know, they're just coming off, you know, layoffs and stuff like that. I think it's going to take a couple rounds for both fighters to get the rust off. But I'm going to favor Bute in this fight. I think stylistically, just because Pascal fights first, and he's got that ambush type style, I think that plays to Bute. And all I can think about now, Chad Dawson hit Pascal with that uppercut, and I think that's one of Bute's favorite punches. Bute's going to time him with that uppercut. I think he's going to hurt Pascal and maybe stop him, but I'll pick Bute in this fight. But then again, Pascal has that type of ability shown in the past, especially against Seahawks, that he has that punching power that comes out of nowhere. It gets very hard, but he just comes to square it up sometimes. You know, when he starts bringing his punches, his hooks in motion, I think it's going to play into Bute's part in this fight. I think with Bute.
A lot of people are afraid to go out on a. I'm not going to say a ledge on this one because it's not really a ledge, but a lot of people are just kind of making the safe pick with Pascal, and I understand that to an extent, but I like, you know, you're not afraid of saying, hey, I mean, just because this dude knocked him out doesn't mean they can do the same thing. And, you know, Pascal has a great chin, and he also, like you mentioned, can deliver a good punch, and I just don't know how he can go a whole fight without buzzing him. And that's why I guess that's the separator for me. The two separators for me is that, what I just explained, the fact that I think at some point he'll hit him with something that changes his mind and changes his whole, you know, everything. His whole game plan, his demeanor, everything. That, and the fact that, like I said, who has Bute beat? Glenn Johnson is his best name, or Andrade, I guess. But he beat Andrade, but, you know, he also got knocked out by it, too. So, you know, I don't know, man. This is a good fight. I'm glad they're making it. It's a big fight in Canada. Big shots out to all the Canadian fans because they come out. They definitely come out. Obviously, the winner, in my mind, is going to go against Adonis Stevenson. I think that's clear. Garcino, man, what are your thoughts here, man, on this fight? This is a good fight. The betting line has Pascal pretty much up, not by a lot. It's not like a 2 or 3 to 1, but it's getting close to a 2 to 1. But more than likely, it's more like a plus 1.5 or something like that. That's what I saw as far as averages. Break this fight down, man, and tell us how you see this plays out. And you know, both of them are going to have some ring rust. Obviously, Pascal got to fight in September, but he's had a gap where he hasn't been in there with anybody good for a while either. I can't believe it's already been late 2010 and early 2011 since he fought Riyadh already. But what are your thoughts, man, going into this fight? Who you got?
Well, I think Bute is going to knock him out in about 7 or 8 rounds. I think that,
okay.
Yeah. I don't think that he can withstand the boxing ability of Bute. Bute can knock him out going backwards. He can counter punch. and he's going to use Bute's aggression. I mean, Pascal's aggression. He knows Pascal's going to try to come forward and be the bull and the aggressor like Brock was, and thinks that Bute is going to just weld under the pressure. Well, what Carl Froch did that Bute doesn't do is he comes in behind a jab. Pascal doesn't jab. He comes forward with just aggression, but you only got to sustain it for 30 seconds, and then he's going to stop. And then he's going to just stand there and just try to bob his head and throw one punch at a time. If you do that with Bute, you're in trouble. Bute will pump jabs, he will throw left uppercuts. He will bust you up if you do that. And he will make him look like a slab of meat in Rocky. It's going to be a bad night for Pascal. Unless he gets really lucky.
A slab of meat in Rocky. Man, I'm getting hungry all of a sudden now that you said that.
Yeah, that's exactly what Pascal's going to look like. And, I mean, he's a good fighter, but bringing in Roy Jones to help him train, and I heard Roy is, like, having fun with him. So, it's like, it was just going to be bad anyway. Because he doesn't move his head, Pascal is dead. I mean, this guy lost to a 40-year-old guy twice. I mean, he got knocked down by him twice. You know, it's like, I mean, he's a good fighter. He's just not skilled enough in the boxing game, I think, to deal with Bute. Bute has a great, strong amateur background. I think that pedigree, him dealing with fighters, he fought this style before. And he's able to use that and be first and use the ring to his advantage. And he can knock you out going backwards, something Pascal cannot do. And he can force Pascal backwards if he wants, but I think he'll just use the jab and kind of like stay back. And then when Pascal's not busy, then he'll come forward and let go of his offense. I just give him a puncher's chance to win Pascal. I just really think Bute dominates him. And he probably get caught with a punch he don't see in the 7th round and get knocked out.
So, this will be his marquee. This will be his marquee win then, huh?
Well, yeah, it'll be one of them too. I mean, for the rest of the Peach public, but for me, it'll just be another day in the office. I mean, I already know what Bute can do. So, until he gets that rematch with Froch, I think he'll destroy Froch in a rematch.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think he'll destroy Froch in a rematch, but my thing is, we know what he can do, but do we know what he can do? And the reason why I say that is because who's he done it against? Who's he shown it against? That's where I'm a little like, I don't know. It's tough, man. I think it's a good fight. I think it's a really good fight. I'm glad that they made it. I'm glad that it actually happened because, I thought they did a great job in May. They had 2 different dates. They set, I think one was in like November-ish, December-ish, and then they set it way back to now, January. So I think that it was smart to just kind of play it by ear, and then they said, you know what, let's make sure all this, is back. Let's just make sure everything's healthy. And for a guy that counterpunches, for a guy that times his fighters, ring rust might have something to do with that. Might be in there, but this is one of those fights that, as far as an article or the show, I'm picking Pascal by a hair. I think it's just by a hair. Definitely one where I picked the winner, but I also put money because I think Bute can definitely outbox him. I really do. And some of the things that Carcino and other people that I've heard, they're right there. He really can. I mean, he can catch him on the way in. If that's why I wonder, and that's one of my biggest wonders is, I wonder what Pascal's going to do. Is he going to get a little too cocky? I never, and just do the Carl Froch and just go for it. It's a good idea if you're Carl Froch, but it's maybe not the best idea if you're Pascal. And, the Roy Jones thing, I'll say this. I don't, the 24/7s and the hype shows and and the press conferences and 24/7, all that crap, right? Now, I hate to call it crap because some of it, sometimes you can get something out of it. You know, you could get that Broner wasn't taking this fight totally 100% seriously. Not necessarily training, but mentality-wise, you could tell he wasn't worried about Maidana at all. And then you could tell when he came out, that was true. I saw a couple of videos of Roy Jones, and it looked like with Bute, yes, but also the right hook. The right hook. I mean, we know the left hand, straight left hand, uppercut, left hand. We know that's all nasty. But his right hook, you know, his right hook while he's moving away, too, moving away from that right hand, that could be key, too. And I could see him over and over again, like you said, Garcino, turning him, hitting him with that right hand and being gone. And I could totally see it working over and over again. And then you got Pascal, who relies on those little frickin' flurries and wears down. And this is a good fight, man. And that's why I'm putting money on the underdog. And if Pascal was the underdog, you know, I would put money on him too. I think it's that good of a fight. I think it's you know, on paper, you know, maybe it will turn out to be one-sided, but on paper, that puncher's chance is a huge chance on this one, just because I think that. I don't know if Grachev, you know, could put hands on him the way he did. And he came forward, but not really. He wasn't as reckless as you assume. It took him a while to get reckless, but when he did get reckless, he actually started getting to it.